अङ्गं हरेः पुलकभूषणमाश्रयन्ती भृङ्गाङ्गनेव मुकुलाभरणं तमालम् अङ्गीकृताखिल विभूतिरपाङ्गलीला माङ्गल्यदास्तु मम मङ्गल देवतायाः.
Kanakadhaara Stotram of Sri Adi Sankara Bhagavatpada. This is the first shloka. Adi Sankara Bhagavatpada, when he was a young child, about the age of 7 years, when he was a brahmachari, he was doing bhikshatanam. He was out in the village seeking alms as a Brahmin boy should. And at that time he approached a very poor dwelling and he asked for alms. The woman residing in that dwelling didn't have anything to offer, but then she couldn't ask this boy to leave empty-handed. So she handed over to him the only thing that she had, which was a amla. A single amla is all that she had. She offered it to Shankara. Because of that, he became really pleased and wanted to bless this woman. And for that, he sang praise on Mahalakshmi. And Mahalakshmi, pleased by those praises, made a Kanakadhaara to happen. Kanaka means gold. Dhara means rain. So there was rain of gold. And each droplet in this rain was of the size of a amla and each was made of gold. So that's why this is called Kanakadhaara Stotram. And in the first shloka of this Kanakadhaara Stotram, the prayer is Apangalila Mangalyadastu Mama Mangala Devatayaha. Mangala Devatayaha Apangalila. Mangala Devata is how Adi Sankarcharya is referring to Mahalakshmi here. Devata, the deity for Mangalam, for anything that is auspicious, is Mangala Devata, and that is Mahalakshmi. Tasyaha Apangalila. Her Kataksham. Apangalila is Kataksham. Kataksham can be loosely translated as side glances. When Mahalakshmi makes a glance towards something, a very slight glance towards something, that thing becomes blessed. So this medium of blessing is what is called as Kataksham. And this Kataksham is very playful. That's why here it's described as Kataksha Leela. Kataksha Leela. That Kataksha Leela, Mangalyada Astu Mama. Let those auspicious glances, which bless us with auspicious things, let that Kataksham be there on me. This Prarthana, he describes the Apangalila in the first 3 lines of the verse. Angam harehe pulaka bhushanam ashrayanti. Harehe angam ashrayanti. Harehe of Hari, angam. Angam means body. This Apangalila rests on the body of, the form of Hari. And because of that, because Mahalakshmi is looking at Hari, Hari is now very happy. And because of the happiness that he feels, he has goosebumps all over his body. That goosebump is called Pulakam. Pulakam Bhushanam Yasya Pulaka Bhushanam. The body of Hari now has Pulakam or goosebumps as ornaments. Or the goosebumps decorate the body of Hari. An analogy is presented here to describe this scene. Bringanganeva Mukulabharanam Tamalam. There is a Tamala tree. Tamalam refers to the Tamala tree. The Tamala tree has a very dark bark, so it is usually given as an analogy for Vishnu. And this tree is growing various buds. And the buds are about to blossom. Such buds are referred to as Mukulam. This Mukulam decorates this tree. It's spread everywhere, and because of that, the tree looks very beautiful. So the Tamalam is Mukula Bharanam. And surrounding this tree, a Bringangana is flying. Bringangana is a female bee. Bringam means bee. Bringangana is a female bee. A female bee is roaming from one mukulam, one bud to another, attracted by its beauty. Just like there is this Bringangana, there is the Apanga Leela of Mahalakshmi, and just like the Bringangana is roaming around the Tamala tree of the various buds of the Tamala tree, Apanga Leela of Mahalakshmi is roaming from one goosebump to another. So such is the scene that is being described, such is the Apanga Leela. But this Apanga Leela, the glory of this Apanga Leela is given in the third line, Angikrita Khila Vibhutihi. Angikrita Khila Vibhutihi Yayasa Angikrita Khila Vibhutihi. Vibhutihi refers to wealth or Aishwaryam, any wealth. Akhila Vibhutihi, all kinds of wealth. Angikrita Akhila Vibhutihi. The Apanga Leela is such that wherever it flies, that place is agreed to have all the wealth, all forms of wealth. Such is the grace of Mahalakshmi. Wherever it falls, all forms of wealth follows. That Apanga Leela Mama Mangalyada Astu. Let it be auspicious towards me. Let Mahalakshmi throw pleasant side glances towards me.
मुग्धा मुहुर्विदधति वदने मुरारेः प्रेमत्रपा प्रणिहितानि गतागतानि मालादृशोर्मधुकरीव महोत्पलेया सा मे श्रियं दिशतु सागरसम्भवायाः.
In the previous shloka, Adi Sankara Bhagavatpada described the side glances of Mahalakshmi and prayed that those side glances bless him with Mangalam, bless him with auspiciousness. He continues the same prayer here. Here, in the previous shloka, the side glances were referred to as Apanga Leela. Here he calls it Drishor Mala. Drik means eyes or vision. Drishor Mala. Repeated sides, one after the other, form a chain. That is the Mala. And that Drishor Mala, Sa me Shriyam Dishatu. Let that Mala, let that garland of sides, repeated sides, let that bless me with auspiciousness. Let that bless me with wealth. That is the prayer here again. But then the Mala is described in a different way. Mugdha muhur vidadhati vadane murarehe. Murarihi is Bhagavan. Mura is the name of an Asura, and Bhagavan is the Asura's enemy. Arihi means enemy. Murarihi means the Bhagavan who killed Muraha. So he is Murarihi. Murarehe vadane, on the face of Murarihi. Vadana means face. Mugdha muhu vidadati. Mugdha is the description given for the Drishor Mala, for the repeated side glances. They are Mugdha. Mugdha meaning they are pure, they are innocent, and they are Mugdha also means beautiful. So beautiful side glances. Muhuhu vidadati. Again and again vidadati. Those side glances are made on the face of Bhagavan. That is, Mahalakshmi is repeatedly looking at the face of Bhagavan. But then after looking, her eyes don't stay there, because out of shyness she then directs them away from him. So she looks at him and then directs the sight away. She does this repeatedly. Prematrapa pranihitani gata gatani. Gata departure, agata arrival. So the sights, Mahalakshmi's eyes come and look at the face of Bhagavan. But then they are led away again. They are led back to the face. They are led away again. This is because of prema trapa pranihitani. Pranihitani, caused due to. Prema and Trapa. Prema is love, Trapa is shyness. Because of love and shyness, the eyes of Mahalakshmi are directed towards the face of Vishnu and then away from the face of Vishnu. This is repeated, thus creating a mala drushoho. A drushoho mala, a chain of glances. Mala drushoho. That mala looks like a madhukariva mahotpaleya. This repetition of the glances is similar to madhukariva mahotpaleya. Mahotpale madhukari iva. On a mahotpala flower, utpalam is a flower, mahotpala is a big utpala flower. The utpala flower is blue in color, so it is usually used to describe the face of Bhagavan. And on the utpala flower, a bee is coming towards it, sitting on it, and then goes away. Comes back and then goes away. It repeats this. Bees usually wander around, right? So when a bee does something like that, that is the same vision when Mahalakshmi drives her sight towards the face of Bhagavan and then away from it. So it's like a bee going towards a utpala flower and then returning back, only to return back to the flower again. Yasa Drushor Malaya, such a chain of glances, that chain of glances, Sa me Shriyam Dishatu. Let that chain of glances, let it give me auspiciousness, let it give me wealth. Shriyam Dishatu. Sagara Sambhavayaha. That chain of glances is that of Sagara Sambhava. Mahalakshmi was born out of the ocean of milk, of the Kshirabdhi. So she was born out of the Sagara, so she is Sagara Sambhava. Sagara Sambhavayaha Drushor Mala. The chain of glances belonging to Sagara Sambhava or Mahalakshmi. Let those side glances, let them give me auspiciousness.
आमीलिताक्षम् अधिगम्य मुदा मुकुन्दम् आनन्दकन्दमनिमेषमनङ्गतन्त्रम् आकेकरस्थितकनीनिक पक्ष्मनेत्रम् भूत्यै भवेन् मम भुजङ्गशयाङ्गनायाः.
Adi Sankara Bhagavatpada has been praying that the katakshama of Mahalakshmi or the side glances of Mahalakshmi shall fall upon him and shall bestow him with wealth. He continues that prayer here. In this shloka, he calls Mahalakshmi as Bhujanga Shayangana. Bhujanga Shaya. Bhujanga means snake. Bhujanga Shaya is someone who sleeps on a snake, that is Vishnu. Bhujanga Shayangana is the wife of Vishnu, meaning Mahalakshmi. Bhujanga Shayanganayaha Ake Karasthita Kaninika Pakshma Netram. This is the phrase that refers to the kataksham of Mahalakshmi. Bhujanga Shayanganayaha of Mahalakshmi Ake Karasthita Kaninika Pakshma Netram. Ake Kara means half open and half closed. Ake Karasthita Kaninika Pakshma Netram. Kaninikam means the eyeball. Pakshma refers to the eyelashes. Netram is the eye. So the side glances of Mahalakshmi has all this. Has a portion which is the eyeball, and then there are the eyelashes. Both of them compose the eye itself. And all of them are half opened and half closed. That is, the eye itself is half closed. That is, the eyeball is only half visible. And even the half visible eyeball is covered a little by the eyelashes. So such is the side glance of Mahalakshmi. Such a kataksham mama bhutyai bhavet. Let it be for my wealth. Let it be for my well-being. Bhutihi is anything that is auspicious, is referred to as bhuti. Specifically wealth. The kataksham is further described. Amilitaksham adhigamya muda mukundam. Amilitaksham is someone who has his eyes closed. Mukunda is sleeping on the snake, is sleeping on Adisesha, and his eyes are closed. Amilitaksham, adhigamya, having approached, muda, with happiness. Muda amilitaksham mukundam adhigamya. Then Mukunda is described further. Ananda kandam. Ananda is bliss. Kandam is a kind of a root vegetable which is full of juice or rasa. Bhagavan is full of Ananda rasa, so is referred to here as Ananda kandam. Animesham, who doesn't blink. Ananga tantram. Ananga is Kamadeva. Ananga tantram, within the holds of Kamadeva. That is, Bhagavan is feeling such a love for Mahalakshmi who is sitting near him, and he is in his own yoga nidra. That is why he is not blinking at all and he has his eyes closed. Mahalakshmi is looking at that Bhagavan who is lying on top of Adisesha, and her own eyes are half open and half closed, and with that eyes, with those side glances, let she look at me as well. She is looking at Bhagavan. Let she look at me as well. And because of that, let me attain bhutihi or wealth.
Bahvantare madhujita shrita kaustubheya haravaliva harinilamayi vibhati Kamaprada Bhagavatopi Katakshamala Kalyanamavahatu me Kamalalayayaha.
Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada has been praying for the Kataksham, for the side glances of Mahalakshmi Tayar, to bestow him with Mangalam, to bestow him with auspicious things. He continues such a prayer here. The description for the Kataksham is slightly different. Bahvantare madhujitaha. Madhujitaha. Madhu is the name of an asura. Madhu Kaitaba were two asuras. These asuras stole the Vedas. Mahavishnu, in the form of Hayagriva, killed those two asuras and saved the Vedas from their hands and brought it back to Brahma. That Mahavishnu is called Madhusudanaha or Madhujit. Of that Bhagavan, of Madhujit, Bahvantare, between the shoulders. Bahu means shoulders, between the shoulders, that is in the chest area. Shrita Kaustubhe. The chest area has the Kaustubha Ratna. The Kaustubha Ratna is a very worthy Ratna, and it is worn in the chest area by Bhagavan. So, Shrita Kaustubhe, ya, in the chest area, ya, that Katakshamala, ya, Haravaliva, Harinila Mayi Vibhati. Haravali iva, Haravaliva. Haravali is a pearl necklace. Haravaliva, just like a pearl necklace. Harinila Mayi. But this pearl necklace has Harinila Ratna in between it. There are pearls and then there are Harinila Ratnas as well. Harinila Ratnas are dark blue in color. So there are, this haram, this necklace has pearls as well as blue, dark blue gems in it. Such a necklace, Vibhati, such a necklace shines from the chest area of Bhagavan. Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada is describing a very beautiful scene here. Imagine Mahalakshmi Tayar, she is usually seated in the chest area of Bhagavan, right? She is, you can see that in Lord Venkatesha, she is there in the chest area of Bhagavan. She is seated there, and being seated there, she is looking at all the bhaktas of Vishnu, so that all of them will have Mahalakshmi's Kataksham. She is repeatedly looking at them. There are numerous of bhaktas, from right to left, from close to farther away. She is looking at all of them. And because of that, her glances are shifting from one bhakta to another. And this shifting movement of the glances makes the eyes form a necklace. This necklace is a pearl necklace because there are white parts in it, and then it also has dark blue parts. The eyeball itself has both white parts and then the center is dark blue in color. So this necklace formed by the kataksham, formed by the side glances of Mahalakshmi, is like a pearl necklace with Harinila Ratna, dark blue gems mixed in it. So such a necklace is formed. That necklace is Kamaprada Bhagavatopi Katakshamala. Katakshamala is a necklace of Kataksham, of side glances. That is Kamaprada Bhagavatopi. Bhagavataha api. For the Bhagavan himself, it is Kamaprada. It is the fulfiller of desires. How is it so? How is Kataksham of Mahalakshmi? How does it fulfill the desires of Bhagavan? Earlier, in the previous shloka, Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada was describing the glances Mahalakshmi gives to Vishnu. Glances towards Vishnu, of course, those will be Kamaprada for Bhagavan. But here he is describing the glances that is thrown towards us. How is that Kamaprada for Bhagavan? It is because his heart's closest desire is that we all go to Vaikunta and experience the bliss that is there. That is his wish. But then it is our sins that is stopping us from doing that. Mahalakshmi Tayar's Kataksham washes away our sins, directs us in a very virtuous path, and we will eventually end up in Vaikunta. Because of that, those Katakshams, those sight glances are Kamaprada even for Bhagavan. That Katakshamala, Kalyanam Avahatu, Kalyanam, auspiciousness. Avahatu, let it bring auspiciousness even to me, may. Kamalalayayaha. These sight glances are those of Kamalalaya, or those of that deity who is sitting on a lotus. That is Mahalakshmi. That Mahalakshmi is sight glances, let it bring auspicious to me.
कालाम्बुदाली ललितोरसि कैटभारे धाराधरे स्फुरतिया तडिदङ्गनेव मातुः समस्तजगतां महनीयमूर्तिः भद्राणि मे दिशतु भार्गवनन्दनायाः.
Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada continues his prayer towards the Kataksham of Mahalakshmi. Kalambudali lalitorasi kaitabharehe urasi. Kaitabharihi. Kaitabhaha is the name of an asura. We saw that Madhu and Kaitabha were two asuras. We saw that in the previous shloka. Kaitabharihi, one who killed Kaitabha, is Vishnu. Kaitabharihi. Kaitabharehe of Kaitabhari. Urasi, in the chest of Kaitabhari. Uraha means chest. Urasi, in the chest. That chest is described as Kalambudali Lailita. Ambuda means cloud. Kalambuda, black clouds, dark clouds. Kalambudalihi. Alihi means a line of such dark clouds. So a broad line of dark clouds, because Bhagavan's chest area is very vast. Such dark clouds, which are very dark to look at and also very pleasing to look at. Dark clouds are very pleasing to look at. In such a chest area, Dhara dhare spuratiya tadidanganeve. Ya angana spurati. That woman who shines in such a chest area. Usually, the Mahalakshmi herself is described as the woman who shines in the chest area of Bhagavan. But here, Sankarcharya is pointing towards Mahalakshmi's Kataksham, her side glances. Ya angana dharadhare tadit iva spurati. Dharadhare, in rain-bearing clouds. Dharadharam means rain-bearing clouds, that is dark clouds. Tadit iva spurati. Bhagavan's chest itself is like dark clouds. in the dark cloud as if a lightning has stricken. Such is the vision of Mahalakshmi's Kataksha. It is such. Why is it so? Because we already saw that Mahalakshmi repeatedly glances at various Bhagavatas. Because she repeats it and changes the direction, the Katakshas themselves make a chain. But this chain is flashing because Mahalakshmi also has to blink, right? Because she is blinking, that chain is flashing, and those flashes are like the flashes of lightning. So dhara dhare taditiva ya angana spurati. That side glances, they shine as if they are the lightning that strikes the dark clouds, which are the chest area of Bhagavan. That lightning here is described as Mahaniya Murtihi. Murtihi means form. Mahaniya Murti, one which has a glorious form, one which has a very beautiful form, is Mahaniya Murti. This also refers to the side glances. Whose Mahaniya Murtihi? Matuhu Samasta Jagatam. Samasta Jagatam Matuhu. Samasta, every, Jagatam, the worlds. Of all the worlds, Matuhu, mother. Mata means mother, Matuhu. So these side glances belong to the mother of all the worlds. Who is that mother? Bhargava Nandana. Mahalakshmi incarnated as the daughter of Bhrigu. Bhrigu is a Maharishi. Mahalakshmi incarnated as the daughter of Bhrigu. So she is herself called Bhargavi. One can refer to Bhrigu himself as Bhargava, and then Bhargava Nandana would mean daughter of Bhrigu. Or Bhargava refers to the clan of Bhrigu, Bhrigu's family. That is Bhargava. Nandana is someone who makes it happy. So Mahalakshmi, by being born into the Bhargava clan, made it really happy and proud that Mahalakshmi is one of them. So Bhargava Nandanayaha Mahaniya Murtihi Kataksham, Katakshamala. Katakshamala is what is referred to here by the word Mahaniya Murti. Bhadrani me dishatu. Let it bring auspiciousness to me. Let it bring auspicious things to me. Bhadrani me dishatu.
Praptam padam prathamatah khalu yat prabhavat Mangalya bhaji madhumathini manmathena Mayyapate tadiha mantharamikshanaardham Mandalasam cha makaralaya kanyakayaha.
The prayer remains the same. The prayer is that the side glances, the Kataksham of Mahalakshmi, that it may fall upon me. This is the prayer that Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada has been repeatedly making. He makes the same here. But then the Kataksham is described in a different way again. First, the prayer is Makaralaya Kanyakayaha. Makaralaya refers to the ocean, specifically the Milky Ocean, Ksheerabdi. From that, Mahalakshmi incarnated. So she is the daughter of Ksheerabdi, Makaralaya Kanyaka. Makaralaya Kanyakayaha Ikshanardham. Ikshanardham. Ardham means half. Ikshanardham means half a glance, a side glance, that is Kataksham. Mantharam Ikshanardham. Mantharam means that which is curvy or that which is thick, in the sense the eyes of Mahalakshmi are very broad so that even half of it is very broad. Such a Mantharam Ikshanardham. Mandalasam, very slowly. Tat, that side glance. Iha Mayi, on me. Apated, let it fall on me. So this is the prayer again. This is made in the third and fourth line. The first two lines, the Ikshanardham is described. Praptam padam prathamatah khalu yat prabhavat. Yat prabhavat. Because of the glory of which side glances, padam praptam, a status was attained. Prathamataha, firstly, a status was obtained. Khalu, indeed. By whom, what status was obtained? That is described in the second line. Mangalya Bhaji Madhumathini. A position was obtained on Mangalya Bhaji. Mangalya Bhak is Vishnu, the one adorned with all auspiciousness. Mangalya Bhaji Madhumathini. Madhumathi is Madhusudanaha or Vishnu, the killer of Madhu, the Asura. So Madhumathini, in that Vishnu, a position was obtained by Manmatha, Manmathena. That is, it is because of the glorious side glance that Mahavishnu is in love with Mahalakshmi. And because he is in love with Mahalakshmi, he is under the influence of Manmatha. So Manmatha has a position in Mahavishnu. That is because of the glory of the side glance of the Kataksha. The significance here is that when he tried to disturb the Samadhi of Parameshwara, Manmatha was burnt to ashes. So Manmatha is now without any form. This formless Manmatha is able to get a position in Madhusudana, in Vishnu, just because of the side glances of Mahalakshmi. That is the glory of those side glances. Let those side glances, let those kataksham, let it fall even upon me.
Vishwamarendra pada vibhrama danadaksham ananda heturadhikam Muravidvishopi Ishannishidatu Mai Kshanamikshanardham Indivarodara Sahodaram Indirayaha.
Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada continues his prayer for the Kataksham, the side glances of Mahalakshmi, to fall upon him, to bless him. Here he calls Mahalakshmi as Indira. Indira is someone who has sovereign power, who rules over things. Mahalakshmi rules over the entire universe, so she is Indira. Indirayaha Ikshanardham. Ikshanardham, we already saw in the previous shloka that Ikshanardham refers to side glance, half of a glance. That side glance is Indivarodara Sahodaram. Indivara means blue lotus. Indivarodara Sahodaram means that which is born out of the same womb as that of Indivaram, as that of blue lotus. That is, it has all the same qualities as a blue lotus. Just like a blue lotus is very pleasing to the eye, it is very pleasing. The Ikshanardham is very pleasing to look at. It is very beautiful. Indivarodara Sahodaram. Ishan Nishidatu. Ishat for a small time. Nishidatu. Nishidatu means let it sit on me. That is, let it spend some time on me. As Mahalakshmi is looking at every one of us, let it also fall on me for a moment. Mai Kshanam, on me for a moment. Let it also fall on me. Let that side glance fall on me. Why is he praying for that? He explains that in the first two lines. Vishwamarendra pada vibhrama dana daksham. This is a single word. It's a compound word. It can be split in many ways and can be interpreted in many ways. Bhagavad Pada has made a usage that is rich in many meanings, but we will look at one. Vishwa means everything. Amara refers to the Devas. Indra means king. Vishwamarendra means ruler of all the Devas. That is Indra. The Indra Pada. Indra Padam is the post of being an Indra. To be an Indra is a post. It's a job position. And that job, that post, Vibhrama Dana Daksham. Vibhrama means playfully. Vibhrama Dana. To playfully gift it. Daksham. Daksham means that which has the potency to play. That which has the potency. That which has the skill. So Mahalakshmi's Ikshanardham has the skill, has the potency to grant as a gift very playfully the post of being the ruler of all the devas. Such is the potency of Mahalakshmi's Ikshanartham, and there is more to it. Ananda hetuhu adhikam. Ananda hetur adhikam. Ananda hetuhu, cause for bliss. Adhikam, cause for unlimited bliss. Muravidvishopi. Muravidvishaha. Muravidvit is the enemy of Muraha. Muraha is an asura. Bhagavan killed that asura, so he is called Murari or Muradvit. Muradvishaha. For that Bhagavan himself, Muravidvishopi. Ananda hetur adhikam. This is a cause for unlimited bliss. That is, when Mahalakshmi looks at Bhagavan, Bhagavan gets so much bliss. He is so pleased that Mahalakshmi is looking at him. So, such is the glory of the Dikshanardham. After saying that, he prays, Ishat Tadikshanardham Mayi Api Nishidatu. Let the Dikshanardham sit for a very small time, for just a moment, on me as well. Let it fall on me as well.
Ishta Vishishta Matayopi Yaya Dayardra Drishtya Trivishta Papadam Sulabham Labhante Drishti Prahrishta Kamalodara Deeptirishtam Pushtim Krishishta Mama Pushkara Vishtaraya.
Adi Shankara Bhagavad prays for the Kataksham of Mahalakshmi again. He refers to Mahalakshmi here as Pushkara Vishtara. Pushkara means lotus. Vishtara means seat. One who has lotus as a seat. That is, one who is sitting on top of a lotus. That is Mahalakshmi. Pushkara Vishtarayaha Drishtihi. Mahalakshmi's vision, glance, Drishtihi. Prahrishta Kamalodara Deeptihi. Prahrishta here refers to that which is very fresh, a very fresh lotus, and that too the middle of the lotus. Prahrishta Kamala Udara. Udara Deeptihi. The brilliance of the drishti, the brilliance of the drishti of Mahalakshmi is comparable to the freshly blossomed lotus, and that too the middle of such a lotus. Such is the brilliance of that drishti. That drishti, Ishtam Pushtim Krishishta Mama. Mama Ishtam Pushtim Krishishta. Mama, my Ishtam Pushtim, desired Pushtim, meaning growth. Ishtam Pushtim Krishishta, let it create such Ishtam Pushtim for me. That drishti is described further. Ishta Vishishta Matayopi Yaya Dayardra Drishtya Trivishtapapadam Sulabham Labante. Trivishtapapadam. Trivishtapam refers to Swargam. Trivishtapapadam Swargaloka. Trivishtapapadam Sulabham Labante. Sulabham easy, Labhante obtain. People easily obtain Swargaloka. That Swargaloka for which you have to do a lot of penance or hundreds of Ashwamedha Yaga in order to achieve it. That Swargaloka is achieved, is obtained by people very easily because of Yaya Dayardra Drishtya, by that merciful eyes, by that merciful glance. Because of that, because of such a merciful glance of Mahalakshmi, people attain Swargaloka very easily. What kind of people attain it? Ishta Vishishta Matayopi. Ishtam here refers to any meritorious act. Ishta Avishishta Matayaha are people who don't even think of doing a meritorious act.
Ishta Vishishtam would mean that which is which has Ishtam. That which doesn't have Ishtam is Ishta Avishishtam. Ishta Vishishtam. Ishta Vishishta Matihi Yesham Te. Ishta Vishishta Matayaha. Those who have minds which have no connection, which never think about meritorious deeds. They don't even think about it, let alone do it. They don't even think about it. Even such people, Ishta Vishishta Matayopi, Yaya Dayardara Drishtya Trivishta Papadam Sulabham Labante. Even those kind of people attain Swargaloka by the mere merciful glance of Mahalakshmi. Once he bestows such a glance on us, such a person who hasn't even thought of doing good deeds, his mind becomes clear, he loses his old bad habits, and he starts doing good activities and having good thought, so that even he attains Swargaloka. So let that glance, let that drishtihi mama pushtim krishishta, let it cause my growth.
दद्यादयानुपवनो द्रविणाम्बुधाराम् अस्मिन् किञ्चन विहङ्गशिशौ विषण्णे दुष्कर्मघर्ममपनीय चिराय दूरम् नारायण प्रणयिनी नयनाम्बुवाह.
In this shloka, an analogy is being used. We will first look at the analogy so that it will be easy for us to learn the meaning of the shloka. The analogy is this. There is a bird and it's a baby bird. That baby bird hasn't grown wings yet, so it cannot move out of its own nest, and it has been abandoned. It lives alone in its own nest. Its mother or father, no one is around to be seen, and this baby bird is thirsty. It has been thirsty for a few days, and it is troubled because of the hot summer weather. The weather is dry and it has been thirsty for a long time, but it has no means to approach water because it cannot fly. But then this thirsty bird is relieved when a thunderstorm suddenly forms, and because of the storm, due to the strong winds, clouds are driven towards it, and there is a rain, and because of the rain, the thirst of the bird along with the suffering that it suffered is all washed away. The thirsty bird is nothing but us. We are here in this samsara. We are troubled by our dushkarma or papa. That papa itself is like the hot summer weather, and it has been troubling us for a long time. Because of that, we are really despondent, and in this state we have nothing of our own to escape this state. We are such helpless birds. But then Daya is the storm that forms, is the strong winds which cause the glances of Mahalakshmi, the side glances of Mahalakshmi, the kataksham of Mahalakshmi, which are like clouds. These clouds are driven towards us because of Daya, and that side glance, that kataksham, sheds us with wealth. It provides us with wealth as if it is raining wealth, and because of that we are saved from our sorry state. This is the picture that is being painted. We will now look at the meaning. Dadyat dayanupavano darinambudharam. Dadyat, let it give. Dayanupavanaha, that which has daya as the wind that pushes it, is Daya is dayanupavanaha. The cloud here has mercy. The cloud, which is the kataksham, has mercy as the cause that drives it. So it is dayanupavanaha. Dravinambudharam. Ambudhara means rain. Dravinam means wealth. Dravinambudharam, a rain of wealth. Asmin akinchana vihanga shishau. In this, akinchana is someone who has nothing. Na kinchana yasya saha akinchanaha, one who has nothing. Such a vihanga shishau. Vihanga shishu is a baby bird. In such a baby bird, vishanne, in that which is despondent. Dushkarma gharmam apaniya. Dushkarma means sins. Those sins are themselves like the heat, the hot weather. Dushkarma gharmam apaniya, having led away. Chiraya. Chiraya is something that lasts for a long time. The Dushkarma gharmam has lasted for a long time. It has been, the samsara itself is anadi. It has lasted for a long time. That samsara, duram apaniya, having led away to a distant place, meaning because of the rain of wealth that has been caused, our sufferings are taken away. Not just that, we have lost even the memory of our sufferings. We don't even remember being in such a sorry state. Let me receive such a blessing from Narayana Pranayini Nayanambu Vahaha. Narayana is Bhagavan. Narayana Pranayini is wife of Bhagavan. That is Mahalakshmi. Tasyaha Nayanam, or eyes or side glances. They are themselves like a cloud. Ambuvahaha means cloud. So the prayer here is, let the kataksham of Mahalakshmi, which are like clouds, which are driven by daya or mercy, as which have daya or mercy as their driving winds, let them shed me with wealth. Let them give me wealth as if it's a rain. Dravidam udharam. On to me, who is without anything to give back, who is like a baby bird which has been suffering due to thirst, and let it relieve me of this samsara, which is like a very hot summer.
Girdevate Garudadhvaja Sundariti Shakambhariti Shashishekara Vallabheti Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Kelishu Samsthitaye Tasyai Namaha Tribhuvaneika Gurostarunyai.
So far, in this Kanakadhaara Stotram, Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada has been praying exclusively towards the side glances, the kataksham of Mahalakshmi, has been describing that kataksham and has been praying that that kataksham fall on him and fall on us, and that it may bless us with auspiciousness. From this shloka, he now starts paying his salutations to Mahalakshmi. Gir Devata iti, Gir Devateti. Gir Devata, Gihi refers to walk or speech. The presiding deity for speech is Saraswati. So Gir Devata is Saraswati. Garuda Dhwaja Sundari iti. Garuda Dhwajaha, one who has Garuda as his flag, is Garuda Dhwajaha, that is Vishnu. Tasya Sundari, his wife is Mahalakshmi. So Garuda Dhwaja Sundari is Mahalakshmi. Garuda Dhwaja Sundari iti. Shakambhari iti. Shakambhari is the name of Durga. So Shakambhari iti as Shakambhari also. Shashishekara Vallabheti. Shashi means moon. Shekhara means ornament that is worn on the crown of the head. So Shashishekara is Shiva. Shashishekara Vallabha is Parvati. Shashishekara Vallabheti as Parvati as well. In these forms, Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Kelishu Samsthitaye. Srishti means creation. Sthiti is the time between Srishti and Pralayam. That is between creation and destruction. The existence of the world is called Sthiti. Srishti Sthiti. Pralaya is the destruction. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Kelishu. Keli means games or acts of play. In such games, Samstitayai, one who bears a form, one who is shown. Tasyai, to that Mahalakshmi, Namaha, I pay my salutations. Tasyai Namaha. Tribhuvanaika Guros Tarunyai. Tribhuvanaika Guroho. Tribhuvanam, all the three words. For all the three words, Eka Guruhu. A singular teacher, a singular Guru. To that Bhagavan, she is Taruni. Taruni means wife here. So, the wife of the creator of all the three worlds, the Guru of all the three worlds. To that wife of Bhagavan, to that Patni of Bhagavan, to that Mahalakshmi, I pay my salutations. She is the one who is shown as Saraswati, who is shown as Mahalakshmi, or as Durga, or as Parvati. She is the one who is shown as all these deities. To that Mahalakshmi, who playfully engages in this Srishti, Sthiti and Pralayam, to her, who is the wife of the Guru of all the three worlds, to her I pay my obeisance. This is the prayer here.
Shrutyai namostu shubhakarma phala prasutyai ratyai namostu ramaniya gunarnavayai Shaktiyai namostu shatapatra niketanayai Pushtyai namostu purushottama vallabhayai.
Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada continues to describe Mahalakshmi in various ways and pays his obeisance to him. Shrutyai Namaha Astu. Shrutihi refers to Vedas. Mahalakshmi is in the form of the Vedas, and to that Mahalakshmi Namaha Astu. Let my obeisance be there. My salutations to that Mahalakshmi. Shubha Karma Phala Prasutyai. Shubha Karma means good deeds. Deeds that have been ordained in the Vedas are Shubha Karmas. And there are phalams for the Shubha Karmas. Each karma has a phalan. The phalan can be, wealth here or going to Swarga or anything. And that phalam is given by, is born out of Mahalakshmi. Prasutihi means birth. This phalam, this fruit, comes out of Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi becomes pleased with our karmas, and because she is pleased, she gifts us with certain fruits for our actions. So she is Shubha Karma Phala Prasutihi. To that Mahalakshmi Namaha Astu. To that Mahalakshmi I pay my salutations. Ratyai Namaha Astu. Ratihi is the name of the wife of Kamadeva. So it can be taken as that, because Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada has been giving out the name of various goddesses like Gir Devata, Shakambhari, and then addressing it to Mahalakshmi, saying that Mahalakshmi is in the form of all these devatas. That can be the meaning here. Or Ratihi means love, specifically Bhaktihi. Mahalakshmi is Bhakti personified. To that Mahalakshmi I pay my obeisance. Namahastu. Ramaniya Gunaranavayai. Ramaniya means that which is pleasing. Ramaniya Gunaha, qualities which are very pleasing. Ramaniya Gunaranava means an ocean of all such qualities. Those qualities are Saushilya, Saulabhya, Karunya, that is mercy, humility, all these kinds of auspicious qualities. She is an ocean of such qualities. She is full of such qualities. To that Mahalakshmi Namaha Astu. Shaktiyai Namaha Astu. Shakti again can refer to Parvati, or it means a potential. A potential to do a potential to complete a task is called Shakti. And to that Shakti, to Mahalakshmi, who is in the form of that Shakti, Namaha Astu. Shatapatra Niketanaye. Shatapatram means a lotus which has 100 petals. Niketanam means residing place. One who has such a lotus as a residing place is Mahalakshmi. To her, Namaha Astu. Pushtiyai Namaha Astu. Pushtihi means growth. To Mahalakshmi, who is in the form of growth, Namaha Astu. Let my salutations be there. Purushottama Vallabhayai. Purushottamaha is Bhagavan. To his wife, to Mahalakshmi, let my salutations be there. This is the shloka here. Here, Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada calls Mahalakshmi as Ratihi, Shaktihi, Pushtihi, etc. But these are things that are there in us. Ratihi is Bhakti. We have Bhakti, we have Shaktihi, or we may have Pushtihi. We may have growth, we may attain growth. So these are not Mahalakshmi herself. So why is Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada using those words to refer to Mahalakshmi? This is because Mahalakshmi is the predominant cause for these things. Such a usage is there even in our conversations. We may say, oh, my daughter or my wife is the happiness of our family. The wife is different. The wife is a woman. Happiness is a feeling. So how can those two things be the same? They are not the same, but the wife or the woman is the cause of such a happiness. So we say happiness itself is that woman. Such a usage is there, right? In a similar way, Mahalakshmi blesses us with bhakti. Mahalakshmi blesses us with shaktihi. Or Mahalakshmi blesses us with growth, pushtihi. Because of that, she herself is called as Ratihi or Shaktihi or Pushtihi. So to that Mahalakshmi, who causes all these things, who blesses us with all these things, let my salutations be there.
Namostu Nalika Nibhananayai Namostu Dugdhodadhi Janma Bhumyai Namostu Somamrita Sodarayai Namostu Narayana Vallabhayai.
After describing Mahalakshmi's Kataksham and praying that those Katakshams bless him, Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada moved on to praise Mahalakshmi herself and has been paying his obeisance to her. In that line we see this shloka, Namostu Nalika Nibhananayai. Nalikam means a lotus or a group of lotuses. Nalika Nibham is something that is like a group of lotus. Nalika Nibha Ananam means face. One's whose face is similar to a bunch of lotuses. That is, her eyes are lotuses, her nose looks like a lotus, her mouth looks like a lotus. Every one of them is pleasing to see, just like a lotus is. And because of that, her face looks like a bunch of lotuses. So she is Nalika Nibhanana. Tasyai. To that Nalika Nibhanana, Namaha Astu. Let there be salutations. Namaha Astu. Dugdhodadhi Janma Bhumyai. Dugdhodadhi is the milky ocean. Dugdham means milk. Udadhi means ocean. Dugdhodadhi means milky ocean. That milky ocean itself is birthplace. Janma Bhumi. Yasyaha sa dugdhodadhi janma bhumihi. Tasyai dugdhodadhi janma bhumyai. To that one who was born in the milky ocean, that is Mahalakshmi, to her let my salutations be there. Namaha Astu. Namaha Astu Soma Amrita Sodarayai. Soma means moon. Amrita is the famous elixir that came out of the milky ocean. Soma Amrita Sodara. Sodara is same as Sahodara or Sahodari. That is sibling, sister. Soma, she is the sibling to both moon as well as Amritam, because those were born out of the milky ocean as well, from where she is born out of. So she is the sister of moon and Amritam. Soma Amrita Sodara. The reason to call her the sister of these two things is to point out that she shares qualities with these things. Moon is very pleasing to look at. Amritam is very sweet. Mahalakshmi is very sweet and very pleasing to look at. So she is described here as Soma Amrita Sodara. Tasyai Namaha Astu. Namostu Narayana Vallabhaye. Narayana is Bhagavan. Vallabha means wife. Narayana Vallabha is Narayana's wife, Mahalakshmi. To her, Namaha Astu. Let my obeisance be there.
Namostu Hemambujapeethikaye. Namostu Bhumandala-nayikaye. Namostu Devadidayaparaye. Namostu Sharngayudha-vallabhaye.
Namaha Astu. We saw that it means let salutations be there. Let salutation be there too. Mahalakshmi is the prayer here. Namostu Hemambuja Peethikayai. Hema means gold. Ambuja means lotus. Hemambuja is a golden lotus. A golden lotus is Peethika, seat for Mahalakshmi. So she is Hemambuja Peethika. Tasyai, to that Mahalakshmi, Namaha Astu. Namostu Bhumandala Nayikayai. Bhumandala is this earth. She is the Nayika. She is the queen of this earth. So she is Bhumandala Nayika. She rules over earth. So she is Bhumandala Nayika. Tasyai Namaha. To her, let my obeisance be there. Namostu Devadi Dayaparayai. Daya means mercy. Dayapara is someone who is always showing mercy. Devadi Dayapara is Mahalakshmi, who is always showing mercy towards Devas, etc. That is, Mahalakshmi is merciful even towards the Devas. The Devas themselves require the mercy of Mahalakshmi. So she is merciful even towards them. She is merciful even towards the Asuras. She is merciful even to the worst among the Asuras. To Ravana, who kidnapped her, she was merciful enough to advise him to give her back to Rama. So she is that merciful deity, Devadi Dayapara. Tasyai, to that merciful one, Namaha Astu. Namostu Sharngayudha Vallabhayai. Sharngayudha. Sharngam is the bow of Vishnu. Sharngayudha is one who uses Sharngam as a weapon. That is Vishnu. Sharngayudha. Tasya Vallabha. Vallabha means wife. Sharngayudha Vallabha is Mahalakshmi. Tasyai Namaha Astu. So Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada has been using various words to describe Mahalakshmi, and then has been saying, to that Mahalakshmi, let my salutations be there. The purport here is to point out various aspects of Mahalakshmi. See, so when he calls her Hemambuja Peethika, that is one whose seat is a golden lotus. It means one who is so precious. See, she is so precious that she has to be seated on a golden lotus. So she is Hemambuja Peethika. To that precious one, Namahastu. Bhumandala Nayika. To one who is so powerful. Bhumandala Nayika means one who rules over the earth, right? So to the one who is so powerful, let my salutations be there. Devadi Daya Parayai Daya. She is so merciful. So let my salutations be there for her. Sharngayudha Vallabhayai. Bhagavan holds Sharngam just to protect all of us. Bhagavan holds the bow as a weapon just to protect all of us. As a protector. He is always engaged in our protection because that is what is pleasing to his wife, Mahalakshmi. So she is Sharngayudha Vallabha. That is one who is always engaged in our protection. So much so that her husband is always engaged in our protection. Because he knows that it is very pleasing to her. To that Mahalakshmi, Namaha Astu.
Namostu Devyai Bhrigunandanayai. Namostu Vishnorurasi Sthitayai. Namostu Lakshmi Kamalalayai Namostu Damodara Vallabhayai.
Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada continues his prayer towards Mahalakshmi. He has been paying his salutations to her, saying Namaha Astu, Namaha Astu. Let salutations be there. To Devyai. Devi, Devaha means someone who is playfully engaged in the creation, destruction and protection of all the three worlds. So he is Devaha. Mahalakshmi is Devi. She is also engaged in the same activity in a very playful manner. So she is Devi. To that Devi, Devyai Namaha Astu. Let my salutations be there. Bhrigu Nandanayai. Bhrigu is the name of a rishi. Mahalakshmi incarnated as the daughter of such a rishi. So she is Bhrigu Nandana. To her, Bhrigu Nandanayai Namaha Astu. Namostu Vishnoho Urasi Sthitayai. Uraha means chest. Vishnoho Uraha is the chest of Vishnu. Vishnoho Urasi, in the chest of Vishnu, Sthitayai, one who is firmly established. She is always seen in the chest of Vishnu. She is always seated there, so that when bhaktas go near Vishnu, bhaktas who may have engaged in sinful activities, on whom Vishnu may have anger because of that reason, because they have committed certain sins. But Mahalakshmi is seated in the chest area of Vishnu, just so that she can advise Vishnu not to be angry upon them, but to show mercy on them. That is why she is always seated there. Or another reason could be, when she is seated there, she is always blessing us with kataksha. When you go near Vishnu, she is seated in the chest area of Vishnu, so she is always looking at you. When she looks at you, all our sins are being washed away. Because our sins are being washed away, we are very pure, and there is no reason for Bhagavan to be angry upon us. So for that reason she is seated there. To that merciful Mahalakshmi, Namaha Astu. Let my salutations be there. Namaha Astu Lakshmi. To Lakshmi, Namaha Astu. She is Kamalalaya. Kamala means lotus. Alayam here means seat. One who is residing always in the lotus is Mahalakshmi. To her, Namaha Astu. Namostu Damodara Vallabhayai. Dama means rope. Udara means stomach. Krishna is called Damodara because he was bound in the stomach using a rope. We all know this famous story where Krishna did some mischief and Yashoda wanted to bind him. She took ropes and then tried to bind him, but then she couldn't do it because the rope was never long enough. Krishna was constantly growing. Yashoda didn't realize that, but the rope was never long enough to tie him up. But then Krishna suddenly decides out of his own mercy that if Yashoda wants to bind him up, she should be able to bind him up, and he reduces his own size so that she is now able to bind him with the rope. So by the word Damodara, that Bhagavan is denoted, who is merciful enough to be bounded by his bhaktas. But similar to what we saw in the previous shloka, Sharanga Yudha Vallabhayai, here Damodara Vallabhayai means Damodara, Bhagavan remains as Damodara, one who willingly gets himself bounded by his bhaktas because it is pleasing to his wife Mahalakshmi. So by saying Damodara Vallabhayai Namaha, Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada is saying that to that Mahalakshmi, to please whom this Krishna, this Bhagavan, who cannot be bound by anything, is willingly being bounded by his bhaktas, to that Mahalakshmi I pay my salutations.
Namostu Kantyai Kamalekshanaye Namostu Bhutyai Bhuvana Prasutyai Namostu Devadibhirarchitayai Namostu
This shloka and the previous two shlokas are not seen in certain traditions. Nevertheless, we have been seeing the meanings of them as well. In this shloka, Namaha Astu, Adi Sankara Bhagavatpada continues to pay his obeisance to Mahalakshmi. Namaha Astu, let salutations be there. To Kantyai, Kantihi means brightness or brilliance. To that brilliance, which is Mahalakshmi, let my salutations be there. Mahalakshmi is called brilliance here, just as we saw Mahalakshmi was called Ratihi or Shaktihi. It is because she is the cause of brilliance. She is the cause of brilliance in us. She is the cause of lustre in us. So she is Kantihi. To that Kantyai Namaha. Or it can also be taken as all these various words are given as names for Mahalakshmi herself. These kinds of words can be seen in Ashtotra Shatanamavali, etc. Names which are used to do Archana to Mahalakshmi. Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada is doing a very similar Archana, so he is using similar words. Kantyai Namaha. To that brilliance, which is Mahalakshmi, I pay my obeisance. Kamalekshanayai. Kamala means lotus. Ikshanam means eyes. One whose eyes are like a lotus, either like fully as a lotus or the petals of a lotus. To that Mahalakshmi, Namaha. Namaha Astu. Namastu Bhutyai. Bhutihi means wealth. Namastu Bhutyai. She is the cause of wealth, so she is Bhuti. Or it can also be taken as her name. Bhutyai Namaha. Bhuvana Prasutyai. Bhuvanam means world. Everything that we see around us is Bhuvanam. All this came out of Mahalakshmi. She is the cause of all these things. She, along with Bhagavan, created the entire universe. So she is Bhuvana Prasutihi. Tasyai Bhuvana Prasutyai Namaha. Namostu Devadibhir Architayai. Archana is famously refers to a particular kind of worship where you take flowers and then put it onto the feet of a deity, saying Namaha Astu, Namaha Astu. But then Archana is a common word used for all kinds of puja, all kinds of worship, specifically to that worship which uses flowers. Devadibhir Archita. Archita is someone who is worshipped. Devadibhir Archita means someone who is worshipped by all the devas. Starting from devas, everyone worships Mahalakshmi. She is not someone who is worshipped just by humans, but she is worshipped even by devas, even by Brahma. So, to that Mahalakshmi, let my salutations be there. To one who can grant boons even to Brahma. Brahma, who is so accomplished, he continues to worship Mahalakshmi because he believes that it brings auspicious things to him. So to that Mahalakshmi, who is so auspicious to be worshipped even by Brahma, to her let my obeisance be there. Namostu Nandatmaja Vallabhayai. Nanda refers to Nandagopa. Nandatmaja, Atmaja means son. Nandatmaja is the son of Nandagopa. That is, Krishna, though he was born as the son of Vasudeva, he disguised himself as the son of Nandagopa and was raised as a cowherd boy. So he is Nandatmaja. To Nandatmaja Vallabha. To Mahalakshmi, who incarnated as the wife of Krishna, who incarnated as Rukmini, who makes such incarnations, who repeatedly incarnates as the wife of whatever incarnation Vishnu is making out of her own mercy. To her, due to the mercy of whom Bhagavan himself incarnates, to that Mahalakshmi Namaha Astu. Let my salutations be there.
Sampatkarani Sakalendriya Nandanani Samrajya Dana Vibhavani Saroruhakshi त्वद्वन्दनानि दुरिताहरणोद्यतानि मामेव मातः अनिशं कलयन्तु मान्ये.
Adi Shankara Bhagavad in the shloka prays that he constantly worship Mahalakshmi. That devotion to Mahalakshmi be always be in him. Sampat Karani. These are descriptions for worship, for the act of worshipping Mahalakshmi. These are all descriptions for the act of worshipping Mahalakshmi. Sampat Karani. That which gives sampat or wealth. Sampat Karani. Sakalendriya Nandanani. Sakalendriyam, to all the indriyas, to all the senses. Nandanani, that which is pleasing is Sakalendriya Nandanam. The act of worshipping Mahalakshmi is pleasing to all the indriyas, to all the senses. Because you get to look at Mahalakshmi, you get to hear about her stories, you get to talk about those stories, so it is pleasing to all the senses. So her worship is Sakalendriya Nandanani. Samrajyadana Vibhavani. Samrajya is sovereign or kingdom. Samrajya Dana, one which you can grant Samrajyam as a boon. One which can grant an entire kingdom as a boon. Tadrisha Vibhava. Vibhava means glory. So the worship of Mahalakshmi is glorious enough that it can even grant the boon of having one's own kingdom. Saroruhakshi is the word Adi Shankara Bhagavad uses to refer to Mahalakshmi here. Saroruhakshi is him calling Mahalakshmi. Saroruha means lotus. Aksha means eyes. So Saroruhakshi is the lotus-eyed Mahalakshmi. Tvad Vandanani, your salutations, your worship. Vandana means worship or salutation specifically. Tvad Vandanani. Durita Haranodhyatani. Durita means sin. Haranam means taking away. Durita Haranam is taking away, washing away of one's sins. Durita Harane Udyatani. Udyatam is something that is always engaged in. So Durita Haranodyatam, the act of worshipping Mahalakshmi, the acts themselves, the worship, the activity itself is potent enough to wash away our sins. The worship, we are constantly engaged in worship of Mahalakshmi, but the worship itself is constantly engaged in taking away our sins. So the acts of worships are Durita Haranodhyatani. Tani, those worships, Mameva Mataha Anisham Kalayantu. Mameva Anisham Kalayantu. Kalayantu means let them attract, let them. Kalayantu means let them attached. Let them be attached to me. Let them be attached to me always. Mameva Anisham Kalayantu, always. Mataha and Manye are the words again referring to Mahalakshmi. Mataha. Mata means mother. Mataha means Mata is the way one call outs to a mother. Hey Mataha. Manye. Manya is someone who is worthy of worshipping. Manya is someone who should be respected. Mananiya is Manya. Mahalakshmi is Manya. And because there is no other word near to it, that is, Adi Shankara Bhagavad is not calling Mahalakshmi Deva Manya or Manushya Manya or Brahma Manya. He is not using any of those words. He is not saying fit to be worshipped by Brahma or fit to be worshipped by Devas or fit to be worshipped by humans. He is just saying Manya, which means she is to be worshipped by everyone. To that Mahalakshmi. So he calls out Mahalakshmi as Manye, Mataha, Tvad Vandanani Mam Anisham Kalayantu. Let your acts of worships, that is, let the worshipping of Mahalakshmi, that activity, let it always be in me. That is, let me be always engaged in the worshipping of Mahalakshmi. That is the prayer here.
यत्कटाक्षसमुपासना विधिः सेवकस्य सकलार्थसम्पदः सन्तनोति वचनाङ्गमानसैः त्वां मुरारिहृदयेश्वरीं भजे.
Yat kataksha samupasana vidihi. Upasana means the act of worship. Is the act of doing bhakti towards something is upasana. Upasana vidihi is the particular format of doing upasana. There are various formats. One can do archana, or one can do padasevana, one can do abhisheka. There are various forms of worship, various methods of worship. Yat kataksha samupasana vidihi. Kataksha samupasana is the act of worshipping one's kataksham, one's side glances. That is the worship that has been done here in Kanakadhaara Stotram. Adi Sankara Bhagavad-pada had been repeatedly praying towards the side glances of Mahalakshmi. So that is here described as Kataksha Samupasana Vidihi, the method of praying towards side glances. Yat Kataksha Samupasana Vidihi, one whose worshipping of side glances, the worshipping of side glances of whom, Sevakasya, to the devotee. Sevaka here refers to devotee, one who does puja. Sevakasya Sakalartha Sampadaha Santonoti. Sakala means every. Artha and Sampat. Both Sampat as well as Artha means wealth. But Sampat refers to all kinds of wealth and Artha refers specifically to money. So we should take Artha to mean money and Sampat to mean all other kinds of wealth. Sakalartha Sampadaha Santonoti. It grants all kinds of wealth and money. Such a puja towards just the side glances of whom grants all kinds of sampat and artham. Tvam, that you, that Mahalakshmi, I worship. Aham bhaje, I worship. Vachananga manasaihi. Vachananga manasaihi. Vachana means speech. Anga means body. Manasa here refers to mind. Vachananga manasahi means using my body, speech and mind, I worship that Mahalakshmi. I worship Mahalakshmi using my speech. That is, I am always singing praises of Mahalakshmi. Anga, I am always doing service to Mahalakshmi. Manasa, I am always thinking about Mahalakshmi. I am doing all these forms of worship of Mahalakshmi, who is Murari Hridayeshwari. Murari is the Asura who stole the Vedas. Murari is the enemy of Mura, the one who killed Muraha, that is Bhagavan in the form of Hayagriva. His Hridayam or heart is Murari Hridayam. Tasya Ishwari, one who reigns over the heart of Murari, that is one who is constantly loved by Murari, Mahalakshmi. That Mahalakshmi, I always pray to her using my body, mind and speech. That Mahalakshmi is so merciful that the worship towards just her side glances, just her kataksham, can give the worshipper all forms of money and wealth.
सरसिज निलये सरोजहस्ते धवलतमां शुकगन्धमाल्य शोभे भगवती हरिवल्लभे मनोज्ञे त्रिभुवन भूतिकरी प्रसीद मह्यम्.
Prasida Mahyam is the prayer here. Prasida means be favorable to me. Show your grace on to me. Bless me. that is prasida. Mahyam prasida, to me, please show your grace, please bless me. That is the prayer here. All the other words is Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada calling out Mahalakshmi. Sarasija Nilaye. Sarasija Nilaya is name of Mahalakshmi. So Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada calls Mahalakshmi as Sarasija Nilaye. Sarasija means lotus. Sarasijam Nilayam Yasyaha Sa Sarasija Nilaya. That is one who is standing on a lotus or seated on a lotus. Both are same. Sarasija Nilaya is one who is seated on a lotus. That is Mahalakshmi. Sarasija Nilaye is how one calls out to Mahalakshmi. Saroja Hasta is Mahalakshmi. Saroja is again lotus. One who has a lotus in her hand is Saroja Hasta Mahalakshmi. Saroja Haste is the way you call out to Saroja Hasta. Dhavala Tamam Shuka Gandha Malya Shobhe. Dhavala means white. Dhavala Tama is whitest. Amshu means here rays of light. That is, if there is a lamp, there are rays of light surrounding it, right? Those kind of rays are called Amshu. That is the rays that are part of a glow. It's called Amshu. Dhavala Tamam Shuka is something that has the whitest of rays. Gandha means the sandal paste that is applied on one's own body. Gandha. Malya refers to the garland. Mahalakshmi is wearing Gandha, the sandal paste, and Mala, the garland, all of which give out the whitest of rays. And because of that, Mahalakshmi is having a Shobha, is having a brilliance. So she is called Dhavala Tamam Shuga Gandha Malya Shobha. And then to call out to her, you should say Dhavala Tamam Shuga Gandha Malya Shobhe. Bhagavati. Mahalakshmi is Bhagavati. That is, she is someone very similar to Bhagavan. She is the wife of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is someone who has all these gunas. Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Virya, Shakti, Tejaha. When someone has all these gunas, he is called Bhagavan if he is a Purusha, and Bhagavati if she is a woman. And because Mahalakshmi is a woman, she is referred to as Bhagavati. Harivallabhe. Harivallabha means wife of Harihi or Vishnu. Harivallabha refers to Mahalakshmi. So she is called Harivallabhe. Manognye. Manognya is someone who is very pleasing. Someone who is very sweet is called Manognya. Manogye is the way you should call out to her. Manogye, hey Manogye. Manognya can also mean someone who knows our minds. That is, she knows our wishes and she grants those wishes. So she is Manogya, Manogye. Tribhuvana Bhutikari. Tribhuvanam, all the three words. Bhutikari. She makes all the three worlds filled with wealth. Let it be abundant harvest of grains, or the abundant flow of water, or obtaining gold from a mine, or fruits, or flowers. All these forms of wealth. She is the one who causes all these forms of wealth. So she is Tribhuvana Bhutikari. So after calling Mahalakshmi using all these names, using all these descriptions, Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada prays that Mahyam Prasida. Show mercy on me, show your grace unto me, bless me.
दिग्घस्तिभिः कनक कुम्भमुखावसृष्टस्वर्वाहिनी विमलचारुजलाप्लुताङ्गी प्रातर्नमामि जगतां जननीम् अशेषलोकाधिनाथ गृहिणीम् अमृताब्धिपुत्री
Adi Shankara Bhagavad continues his prayer towards Mahalakshmi. Here he describes Mahalakshmi in the form of Gajalakshmi and says that he prays to that Mahalakshmi every single day in the morning. Dighasti bihi. Dik means direction. Hasti means elephant. It is said in the Puranas that in each direction there is an elephant that protects that direction. Those elephants, those special elephants are called Dighasti. By those elephants, Dighasti bihi, Kanaka Kumbha Mukhavasrishta Swarvahini. Kanaka Kumbha, Kanaka means gold. Kanaka Kumbha means golden vessel. Kumbha is the vessel that we use to carry water. From the mouth of that vessel, Mukha means mouth. From the mouth of that vessel, Avasrishta. Avasrishta here means that which is being poured. What is being poured? Swarvahini. Swarvahini is the name for Ganga. So from the mouth of golden kumbhas, water of the Ganges is flowing. Water from the Ganges is being poured. That water is Vimala Charu Jala. Vimala means that which is pure. Charu is something that is sweet. Vimala Charu Jala. Pure sweet water is pouring from the mouth of those kumbhas and it is flowing throughout the body of Mahalakshmi. Pluta means being flowed. Angam means shariram or body. Every part of Mahalakshmi's body is being drenched by this Ganga water, which is being poured from the mouth of golden kumbhas, and these golden kumbhas are brought there by elephants which protect the directions. This is the picture that is being portrayed here. This is the famous Gajalakshmi picture. There are two elephants, each pouring water from golden kumbhas, and that water is drenching Mahalakshmi. So Mahalakshmi is having an abhisheka. That Mahalakshmi, I worship her every single morning. Prataha namami. In the morning, namami, I worship her. Jagatam jananim. Jagati means world. Jagatam, of the worlds. Jananim, mother. Mother of all the worlds. She created everything. So she is the mother of all the worlds. Asesha lokadhinatha grihinim. Loka means the worlds. Adhinatha is the king. The king of all the worlds is Bhagavan. Tasya grihinim. Grihini means wife. So wife of Bhagavan, who is the creator of all the worlds. Asesha, Sesha means that which remains. Asesha means without any remainder. That is, Bhagavan rules over every single world and he is the king of every single world. Mahalakshmi is wife of such a king. That Mahalakshmi, Amritabdhi Putri. She is also the daughter of Amritabdhi. Amritabdhi is the Abdhi or the ocean from which Amritam or the elixir which gives us immortality. That Amritam came. So she herself is Jagatam Jananim. Meaning because she is the mother of all the three worlds, she is going to have mercy upon all of us and is going to protect all of us. She is also Lokadhinatha Grihini. Asesha Lokadhinatha Grihini. She is the one who causes every activity in these worlds. And she is Amritabdi Putri. So she is Amritam is very sweet. So she is a very sweet person. She is so pleasant. That Putri, that daughter, that Mahalakshmi, who bears a form that is being bathed by the waters of Ganga, the pure and sweet waters of Ganga, which is being poured from the mouth of a golden kumbha, which is itself, the golden kumbha itself is being brought by Dighasti or the elephants that protect the directions. To that Mahalakshmi, I pray every single morning. This is the statement Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada is making here.
कमले कमलाक्षवल्लभे त्वं करुणापूरतरङ्गितैः अपाङ्गैः अवलोकय माम् अकिञ्चनानां प्रथमं पात्रम् अकृत्रिमं दयायाः.
Kamale. Kamala means Mahalakshmi. So Adi Sankara Bhagavad calls her as Kamale. Kamale. Kamalaksha Vallabhe. Again, Kamalaksha Vallabha is Mahalakshmi. Kamalaksha is Bhagavan. Kamala means lotus. Kamalaksha is the lotus-eyed one, Pundarikaksha or Bhagavan. His Vallabha, his wife is Kamalaksha Vallabha, that is Mahalakshmi. So he calls her out as Kamalaksha Vallabhe. Tvam, you, Karuna Pura Tarangitaihi Apangaihi. Apangaihi, with your side glances. The side glances are described as Karuna Pura Tarangitam. Karuna is mercy. Karuna Puram is the flood of mercy. In that flood of mercy, there are waves. So the Mahalakshmi is a ocean of mercy. In that ocean of mercy, there are waves. And those waves are called Tarangam. Tarangam means waves. The Kataksham, the side glances, are like the waves that form in the ocean of mercy. Karunapura Tarangitaihi Apangaihi, with those side glances, Avalokaya Mam, please look at me. Avalokaya, look, Mam, look at me. Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada after that mentions certain words, which are the words or adjectives for Mam. That is, he is describing himself here. But those words will cannot be associated with him. He is just doing that out of humility. More than that, he is mentioning these words so as to teach us how to make a prayer to Mahalakshmi from our state. What I mean will be clear now. Akinchana Akinchanaha is someone who has nothing. Na kinchana yasya saha akinchanaha. Someone who has nothing is akinchanaha. Akinchananam prathamam. Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada calls himself as the foremost. Prathamam means foremost. Foremost among the people who have nothing. Who have nothing to offer. He is making a prayer to Mahalakshmi, but then people usually make prayers by offering something first. By lighting up a lamp, or by cleaning up the premises of the Sannidhi, or by doing some yaga or homa or tapas, or dhanam, dharmam. After doing something, some good deed, people then pray for the grace of Mahalakshmi or any deity for that matter. But Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada is saying that he has nothing to offer. He doesn't have the sincerity to do any of the karmas that were mentioned. To do bhakti, you need pure mind. He is saying that he doesn't have a pure mind to do bhakti. He has nothing to offer. And because he is in such a sorry state, Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada is not in such a state, but he is making such lines so that we can pray. For our state is that we are Akinchananam Prathamam. We are the foremost among the people who have nothing to offer. This can refer to any one of us. And because one is in such a sorry state, he is Dayayaha Patram Akritrimam. Dayayaha Patram. Daya is mercy. Dayayaha Patram. Patram means vessel. Daya, we saw that it means mercy. A vessel for mercy, meaning he is the one who is fit to receive mercy. Adi Sankara Bhagavad Pada continues further. He says that he is not just he is not fit to be the receiver of mercy now. He is not saying that he is the foremost of Akinchanas now. So please help me now. No. He goes on to say that he has been the foremost among the people with nothing. He has been the inferior most being right from the start. Akritrimam. Kritrimam means man-made, one which is created. Akritrimam means natural, that which is not created. So that is the natural state of such a thing. This akritrimam. Dayayaha akritrimam patram means a natural vessel for daya, a natural vessel for mercy. Why is it so? Because I have no other means to please you. I have no other means to pray to you. I have no other means to attain the goals that I want to attain in this life. Except for your kataksham, except for your side glances, I have nothing. Because of that, with that being the qualification, I am fit to be the vessel for your mercy. So please look at me. This is the prayer Adi Sankara Bhagavad is making here. And he makes this prayer just so that we can utter the shloka and make a very similar prayer, and that will be a fitting prayer for us.
Devi Prasida Jagadishwari Lokamataha Kalyana Gatri Kamalekshana Jivanathe Daridrya Bhiti Hridayam Sharanagatam Mam Alokaya Pratidinam Sadayirapangaihi.
In the previous shloka, Adi Shankara Bhagavad had prayed for the side glances of Mahalakshmi. He had prayed Avalokaya Mam. He continues it here. Mam Alokaya Pratidinam Sadayaihi Apangaihi. Please look at me. Mam Alokaya Pratidinam, every single day. Sadayaihi Apangaihi. Apangaihi with side glances. Sadayaihi with side glances that are filled with mercy. Please look at me every single day. He describes himself as Daridriya Bhiti Hridayam Sharanagatam. Daridriyam is poverty, or in the previous shloka, Akinchana was the word used, one who has nothing. That is the same purport here, Daridriya. Bhitihi means fear, one who has nothing but then his heart is filled with fear, is Daridriya Bhiti Hridayam. Or you can also connect those two things, one who has nothing to offer but then is afraid that because he has nothing to offer, he will also gain nothing in this life. Daridryam is the cause of bhiti, and that bhiti fills the heart. Daridrya bhiti hridayam. Sharanagatam, one who has come seeking refuge is Sharanagataha. Sharanagatam. Daridrya bhiti hridayam Sharanagatam mam avalokaya. Please look at me, who has nothing to offer, who has fear filling his heart, and who has come to seek refuge. Devi Prasida. Devi, O one who is playfully engaged in the creation, destruction and protection of all the universes. O Devi, O Goddess, Prasida, bless me, show your grace upon me. Jagadishwari. Jagat refers to the world. Jagataha Ishwari. Ishwari is someone who rules over it. That is, who controls the happening of all the worlds is Jagatishwari. Lokamataha. She is also the mother of all the worlds. So she also cares for all of us. Kalyana Gatri. Kalyana means Bhadram or auspicious. Gatra means body or form. She is Kalyana Gatri. Her own form, Mahalakshmi's form, when meditated upon or when looked upon in a temple, the form itself is very purifying. So it's Kalyana Gatri. So she is Kalyana Gatri. Kamalekshana Jivanathe. Kamalekshana, we saw that, means Pundarikaksha or Bhagavan, the lotus-eyed one. His Jivanatha. Jiva here refers to Prana. Prananatha means someone who is very much loud. She is Bhagavan's Jivanatha. That is, she is very much loved by Bhagavan. So, after calling Mahalakshmi with all these words, Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada prays, Devi Prasida, please show mercy upon me, and Pratidinam Sadayaihi Apangaihi Mam Avalokaya. Every single day, with your merciful eyes, please look at me.
स्तुवन्ति ये स्तुतिभिरमोभिः अन्वहम् त्रयीमयीं त्रिभुवनमातरं रमां गुणाधिका गुरुतरभाग्यभागिनः भवन्ति ते भुवि बुधभाविताशयाः.
In this shloka, Adi Sankara Bhagavad gives the Phalashruti for Kanakadhaara Stotram. It is customary at the end of any great text to offer a Phalashruti. Our ancestors usually do it. And in that Phalashruti, they bless us with a fruit, with a phalam that can be obtained by reading or reciting or hearing such a work. Here Adi Sankara Bhagavad gives such a Phalashruti. Stuvantiye stutibihi amubihi anvaham. Ye anvaham stuvanti. Those who sing praises daily. Stuvanti is one singing praises. Anvaham means daily. Ye, those who anvaham, daily sing praises. Stuvanti. Sing praises using what? Amubihi stutibihi. With these verses. With these praising verses. With these hymns. Those who praise Mahalakshmi every single day. Trayimayim. Trayimayi is Mahalakshmi. She is, Trayi means Vedas. One who is in the form of all the three Vedas is Mahalakshmi. So she is Trayimayi. Tribhuvana Mataram. Tribhuvana Mata is Mahalakshmi. Tribhuvanam means three worlds or all the worlds. Mata is mother. Mother of all the worlds is Tribhuvana Mata Mahalakshmi. Tribhuvana Mataram. That Mahalakshmi is Tuvanti. Praise that Mahalakshmi. Ramam. Rama is also the name of Mahalakshmi. Rama is someone who is very pleasing to the heart is Rama. That is Mahalakshmi. Ye Stuvanti. Those who pray Mahalakshmi with these verses. Gunadhikaha bhavanti. Gunadhikaha. Gunaha are auspicious qualities, good qualities. With those qualities, they become better. They become great people because of those qualities. They become rich in these qualities. Gunadhikaha. Guru Tara Bhagya Bhaginaha. Bhagyam means fortune. Bhagya Bhaginaha. Bhagya Bhagi is someone who is fortunate. Bhagya Bhaginaha. Fortunate people. What kind of fortune do they have? Guru Tara Bhagya. Guru means great. Guru Tara means even more great. That is a very superior fortune these people will have. Those who sing praises of Mahalakshmi using these verses. Guru Tara Bhagya Bhagino Bhavanti. Te here connects with Ye in the first line. Those who praise, they become. So te here means they. They. Bhuvi. Buddha Bhavitashayaha. Bhuvi. In this world. Buddha Bhavitashayaha. Buddha means a pandit or a scholar. Buddha Bhavita Ashayaha. Scholars will think of these people in their minds. These people will become the object of the thoughts of scholars. That is, even great men will be thinking about people who sing the praise of Mahalakshmi daily using this Kanakadhaara Stotram. So such is the greatness that is attained. Or Buddha Bhavitashayaha. Buddha by pandits, by scholars. Bhavita made real. Bhavita Ashayaha. Ashayaha are opinions or wishes. When people who recite Kanakadhaara Stotram have a particular wish, great men, great scholars run around the world in order to make sure that that wish is fulfilled. Buddha Bhavitashayaha. So the statement here is, whoever sing the praise of Mahalakshmi daily using these verses, using the verses of Kanakadhaara Stotram, those who sing these daily, they become filled with good qualities, they attain great fortune, and they become worthy of praise even from great scholars, and great men work in order to fulfill the wishes of those people. This is the Palashruti.